Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Your channel has been constantly telling you that the one thing that can help us tide over these US tariffs and ensure that boosts our economic progress are our MSMEs. Our MSMEs can do magic for us. Our MSMEs can really take this country way ahead. This is something that we have been talking to you. Today I'm happy. According to a report in Mint, the government is reviewing schemes that supports MSMEs to be global. Now that's a fantastic thought and that's a good initiative. Let's talk about it. Let's get right into the show. Now, my today's editorial, I would divide that into two. One is let's talk about MSMEs, let's talk about the current situation, let's talk about some facts and figures, and then let us talk about some solutions. So it's not just about talking about the problems, let's also discuss solutions today. So first, let's talk about the current situation. You see, currently MSMEs are languishing. Absolutely languishing. Because the only thing that they face is compliance. The only thing where the government looks at them is only when it comes to their payment of GST or compliance. That's it. Nothing more. You see, I'll give you some figures. There are 6 odd crores of MSMEs in India. This 6 crores of MSME employ close to 23.24 crore people. That is as per 2025 report. 23.24 crore of 140 crore people that we have in India. MSMEs employ. Now do you understand how important MSME is? Let me also give you one more figure. 45% of our total exports is thanks to MSME. This is what MSME does. But finally, whenever it comes to focus, whenever it comes to impetus, MSME is the last to be given impetus. Now let me give you an example. Let me give you some facts, some statistics, some facts and figures. You see, the government of India launched the International Cooperative Schemes in 2019. This was done by the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, MSMEs. Now, according to the scheme, in financial year 2024, the government assisted 545 MSMEs under the scheme with a support of 19.22 crore according to the Lok Sabha disclosure in March of 2025. 545 MSMEs were supported in March of 2025, financial year 2024 by the government of India. How many MSMEs? 6 crore MSMEs. What is the support in government of India gave? 545 in FY 2024. What is the export of MSMEs? The percentage of exports by MSMEs is close to 45% of our total exports. 45% of our total exports, 6 crore MSMEs, 24 crore odd jobs that MSMEs provide, and 545 MSMEs were supported with 20 crores of rupees in FY 2024. This is a government report. Now tell me, this is the kind of impetus that you give MSMEs. Let me take you through some more details so that we can establish our premises before we get into solutions. Okay, more than 75,000 MSMEs had shut shop in the past 5 years. About 35,567 micro and small and medium enterprises across India, which have registered on central government's Udayam portal, have shut down in the ongoing financial year 24-25 as of February 28-25. This is a report in Deccan Herald. This 36,567 has shut down in just 1 year, that is 24-25. Now mind you, in the last 5 years, a total of 75,082 MSMEs have shut down across the country. This is the status of MSME. 75,000 MSMEs shut. Nobody bothered to ask why. Nobody bothers to ask how. Nobody bothers to ask whether can we revive, can we help them come revive. Imagine how many jobs lost. Imagine how much hit we have taken on our exports. Let's go further. You see, economic report. Now, this is basically a Government of India report. So it's not something that's done by outsiders. And I'm quoting Hindu. Micro, small and medium scale enterprises that employs 23.24 crore people, like I told you, in the country continues to face challenges in the regulatory environment. Noted the economic survey tabled on Friday, 31st Jan 2025. This is not an outside body. This is not a foreign body. This is not a foreign research agency. This is our own research agency, the Government of India's research agency, which says that they are facing regulatory hurdles. Regulatory compliance's burden holds back formalization and labor productivity, limits employment growth, chokes innovation, and depresses growth. This is exactly that I have been telling you since years. You see, our solutions are not very convoluted. It is not very difficult. Our solutions are not very complicated. There are simple solutions. But the fact is, we need to see the problem clearly. You see, we are busy talking, discussing, working with, working for, assisting large conglomerates, which I am not saying is wrong. As a country, we need to support our wealth creators, but we also need to give the same or possibly more impetus to MSMEs, because finally they are the growth engine. That's the point I was trying to make. Before I get into the solutions part, let us take one more point that is important. There was no data provided on jobs lost due to these closures. I'm talking about the 75,000 MSMEs that shut shops. There were no data provided on jobs lost due to these closures. However, as per previous reply in July 2024 by the Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise, Jiten Ram Manji, in Lok Sabha, around 3.1 lakh jobs were said to be lost, with 49,342 enterprises closed until July 2020. You can work the math. The reason I am reading this statement out is because I want you to know the damage it causes. The damage it causes employment. And the reason why unemployment is rising in our country. Now let's come to solutions. You see, the government has decided to review schemes that support MSME to go global. Brilliant. Very good. Very good. But then, mere lip service, mere announcement of schemes and intentions may not be the solution. The government really need to create solutions. They need to create solutions. And these solutions can only be put up, only be presented to the MSMEs if they identify the actual problem and they accept the problem the way it is. The biggest problem that MSME faces today is GST. You see, GST actually chokes an MSME. MSME has to pay their GST in a stipulated period of time, regardless whether their client pays them or not. If an invoice is raised with the GST, the MSME has to pay the GST. Now, when an MSME pays the GST and he or she has not received the money from the client, what really happens is he draws out of his capital, he draws out of his working capital. That is the money that is being paid to the government. What happens when he doesn't have working capital? He cannot produce. He runs to the bank. What happens then? If he still didn't get the money and the next month he again has to pay his GST, he fails to pay the EMIs to the bank. The bank sues him. Compliance agencies and investigative bodies and enforcement agencies and all pile on him. Where did the problem start? Like I asked you before. Why can't the government wrest this entire GST business into in the last leg of the sales, that is the retailer. Let the retailer charge the GST to the ultimate customer, and the customer pay and walk out. That's exactly what it is. Ultimately, customer means you and me. Every penny of GST is paid by you and me. There is nobody in the middle paying it. It's only that it's been divided. It's been divided, but at the end of the day, the whole of GST is paid by us. So might as well be paid. Why make a small manufacturer or a small raw material manufacturer or an ancillary unit made to pay that? Because they are made to pay that, they are burdened with the GST, it directly affects their working capital. It directly affects their opportunity to grow, their opportunity to expand, because they don't have cash. And over and above that, they are put into trouble through all your enforcement agencies and your income tax agencies and general sale tax agencies and so on and so forth. The first problem that the government should seriously look if they really want to benefit the MSME is the GST issue. Number two, you see, MSMEs are capable. Our MSMEs are capable. If they are capable to do 45% of our exports, they are capable even to get FDIs for themselves. You have an enforcement directorate. Like I said before, the only time the government looks into MSMEs is either when they have to collect GST to find out who is not paying GST, or to put some compliance or some enforcement behind them. That is the only time you look at MSMEs. You have enforcement directorates. Why can't you create an empowerment directorate? MSMEs are capable to go and hustle and get foreign direct investment for themselves. Today they are scared. They are scared. They are scared is because, you see, most of the people, especially MSMEs, they can't afford Big Four and all for consulting and to know how to sign an agreement with a foreign company, get foreign investment. They're scared. Something goes wrong and tomorrow they are behind bars. ED is at their doorstep. The fact remains that, like you have the enforcement directorate, like I said, create an empowerment directorate where they can go to the empowerment directorate, tell the empowerment directorate, sit the empowerment directorate, tell them that this is the opportunity that they have, this is the opportunity that they seek, this is the tie-up that they want to do, this is the money that they want to get. Let this empowerment directorate approve that, help them, guide them, ensure that they are in the framework of law. And once they get an approval, they are free to go and get that money. Empower them to do that and see the difference. Today, you have threatened them. They are scared. They're scared. A small businessman is scared. We don't have money to kind of spend on lawyers and spend on consultants and spend on Big Fours if we get notices and threats. We don't have money. So we are scared. So what do? Keep quiet. Empower these MSMEs. Empower these MSMEs and see the difference. That's point number two. Point number three. What kind of foundation are you laying for MSMEs in international market? What kind of foundation? Can we lay a structured campaign for MSMEs? Either through our consulates across the globe, where we have meet and greet sessions where MSMEs get to present their ideas, products, and even opportunity to invest in front of international investors stroke consumers. Can we help them? Can we help them identify good investors? Can we help them identify good partners? The rest, they will do it on their own. But mere 20 crore spend in one full year and we're saying that we have done a operation, some projects. I mean, is that even real? Is that even a serious effort? Is that even a step? Because it is very difficult for an MSME to do it on his own. It is very difficult. This would help. And most importantly, like the big, large players in this country have got the confidence and got the backing, the government needs to instill confidence. Remove fear out of MSMEs. Remove fear of losing. Remove fear of failing. Remove fear of what if this doesn't happen, then not only my debtors, but also the government will be after me. How can a person fight a battle if you tie their hands? You're tying their hands with all these compliances and all these notices and all these agencies behind them. Let them free. Instill that confidence. The government, and we've got quite good speakers in the government who otherwise makes gorgeous speeches. Can they talk? Can they really talk for the MSMEs? Instill that confidence in them. These are the things that the government should actually do. And finally, for 6 crore odd MSMEs who offer 24 crore odd jobs, 45% of our exports for this particular sector, please put a large budget to promote them. Please give a good department that can help them with their compliances and a place to go to ask questions other than, like I always say, like that Havaldar who stands behind the tree and watches till the person does a mistake, and the moment he jumps the signal, goes running from nowhere and catches him. This is exactly what is happening to an MSME today. There is nobody to advise him, but there are a lot of people to see where he goes wrong and then to nail him down. My last point, RBI as usual. And this is something that our Honorable Finance Minister should understand and possibly, if possible, try and investigate. You see, RBI is not a great place to go and deal with. It is not easy to deal with RBI. It is not a great experience dealing with RBI. It is not a pleasant experience dealing with RBI. You are dealing with a bureaucratic setup, a red-taped bureaucratic setup. Make RBI a little more MSME friendly. Let RBI have a service center instead of a compliance center. The difference between service center is that person is sitting there to service you, which is what they are. Aren't they part of our taxes? Doesn't their salary go from our taxes? So shouldn't they be part of a service center? If the Pradhan Mantri says I am Pradhan Sevak, then why not RBI's executives and officers? Let there be the concept of service to MSMEs. Let them sit there and help MSMEs instead of telling them where they are going wrong and why their forms cannot be accepted, or why an FD cannot be accepted, or why agreement between the MSME and his investor cannot be accepted. Let there be somebody who can help. Finally, people are not frauds. Indians are not thieves by nature. Businessmen are not thieves by nature. MSME especially are not thieves by nature. Everybody is not a thief. At times, they flaw because of sheer lack of understanding. Law doesn't accept that, which is fair. Law says a lack of understanding is not an excuse for not following law. That I understand. But at least as government, can't you help them to understand law better? Understands compliance better? Understand the framework better? That's what I ask of the finance minister. And but otherwise, I think this concept of promoting MSMEs, this concept of promoting them to sell more globally, fantastic. Ensure they're invested more first, and then see how they can sell. They will rule the world. That is something I'm very sure about. Till I see you next time, and that's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.